to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Chair back here somewhere. We have a bid opening tonight on paving in various locations throughout the village. Bill?
We had the bid opening actually February 9th at 2 p.m. in the village office. Carol Hanfield, deputy clerk, and I opened the bids. Representatives from Kubricki and Pike Industries were present for the bid opening. The bid went out with 8 items. With the 8 item was an option which consisted of an overall bid for items 1 through 7. I'll go through each of them. Bid item 1 was for the village parking lot. Carter's was $11,880. Fuller, $14,000. Luck did not bid on item 1. AP Real, $26,400, and Pike, $17,820. Bid item 2A was for Section A of the village office parking lot. Carter's was $10,000, Fuller $10,400, Real $17,000, and Pike $10,530. Bid item 2B was Section B, C, and D of the village office parking lot. Carter's was $10,000, Fuller $11,000, Real $18,840, and Pike $11,970. Bid item 3 was the Civic Center walkways. Carter's was $12,500, Fuller $18,500, Real $29,000, and Pike $24,450. Bid item 4A was Mountain View Drive. Carter $16,500, Fuller $18,000, Real $24,150, and Pike $2,000. And that was an error. He reversed his 2 figures for bid item A and 4. Bid item 4 was developer cost for the final grade for Mountain View. Carter's $1,500, Fuller $3,000, Real $5,000, and Pike $18,525. And as I said, he transposed items 4A and 4B. Bid item 5 was for Clinton Street. Carter's was $37,500, Fuller $44,000, AP Real $58,800, and Pike $715. Excuse me. Bid item 6 was Clinton Street. Liberty Street. Carter's $9,500, Fuller $12,000, Real $24,800, and Pike $12,870. Bid item 7 was for the fire station. Carter's $7,000, Fuller $3,800, Real $19,000, and Pike $9,200. Overall bids for all items: Carter's $116,380, Fuller $134,700. Luck gave an overall bid for the entire package. He didn't bid them individually. He wanted all or nothing, $149,100. AP Real overall bid $222,990, and Pike $147,080. That's it.
We're going to table this tonight, or we're going to motion to table it? Okay, I'll make a motion to table this so we can discuss and go over some other information.
Second.
I just want to say there's a big discrepancy between $116,000 and $222,000. There's a big profit margin, or I don't know. Any other discussion? All those in favor of those that use the sign of aye. Aye. Those opposed?
We have until when to accept? 60 days, okay, thanks.
Open the meeting for comments of the public at this time. Anybody wishing to address the board may do so.
Hi, my name is Kevin Shagnon. I just have a question about Maple Street. Noticed last year it got paid by Luck Brothers, and I asked my landlord several times, Mike Trahan and Mark Trahan and Jules, in front of the building complex where some of the vehicles do park between the sidewalk and the roadway on Maple Street, if that was going to be paved or if it was going to be grass put in there. And Jules thought that grass was going to be put back in there instead of being paved for the tenants of that apartment complex. I just think it would be better for all the tenants living there that if that could be paved. I'm sure if that grass does get put in there for the beautification of Ross's Point, it would look nice, but I just have a feeling that a lot of tenants would drive on that grass area right in front of that complex. There's also another building on the corner of Maple and Chapman, those white apartment buildings there. Then of course Wyeth is paved in front. And I just think if it's either all or nothing, if one can pave, or it should be allowed for another complex, apartment building complex, my opinion. And I was just wondering how the board determines what gets paved, or is it a vote, or is it for the people to decide on from the village, or?
You want to explain that, George? Or?
Well, we had asked everybody for comments almost 2 years ago, I believe. And there was some who wanted it paved, some didn't, some wanted grass, some didn't, so on and so forth. And the board made a decision to put grass to be consistent.
Right.
But in my opinion, I have to agree with you, really. And that particular incident right there in that other apartment building, because it's obvious that people are going to park there for people come in with groceries or
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah.
They really haven't got no place to go but there.
That is correct.
Well,
And that's never had grass there, never.
Jules is out of town until tomorrow. So I talked with Mark today, and I also talked with Mr. Bailey, and I talked to Mr. and Mrs. Nigro. And they want at least stag mat put in there. We're not gonna pave that, because like they're saying, all the mud is coming into their place.
Yes, it is. That's, yes.
And you really don't have a back door, and
Nope.
after we had the meeting, I went and looked at it. The next day, it was all mud in there. And so, grass is not gonna grow there. So, pretty much, I meant to talk to George and Kelly earlier, but I've been in Burlington. So we were gonna wait till next week, the next meeting. Jules wanted to be here.
Yeah, and I think, I saw Junior this afternoon at the village office, and he mentioned that he had talked to Mark Trigan as well, so, and I think maybe the stag mat might be a good possibility.
At least for temporary, for the time being.
So,
Because that's what was there before.
Yes, yes, it
Exactly.
was. Stagnant, yes.
so probably that's what we're gonna do, but we're gonna wait till Jules comes and talk to him. And we've got a couple other people in the building. We wanted to talk to everybody, so we had everybody. And I was gonna get a hold of you too, but I just, So you're pretty much in favor with the rest of the people. You want stag mat?
I would like to see something there that's like either pavement or stagnant, yes, instead of lawn. Because even my wife and myself, when we did our groceries, we pull right up there and we carry them right upstairs instead of, and when we have company or any else for any of the other tenants at that apartment, that is the only place where people can park is there, that visitors. That's the only place. There's no other parking in Jules' parking lot that visitors can park. It's full.
Yeah.
With all the tenants parking.
And you think, Kevin, that even if the grass were to grow there, once it's been graded and topsoil, that the visitors would continue to park on the lawn? Do you have that feeling?
Yes, I think they would.
Okay.
I can't think of his name, my next door neighbor right off. Oh, he has meetings on a couple nights.
Right.
And 3 or 4 of the people park there all the time since I've been living there for the last 3.5 years. And like I said, the parking lot adjacent to the right for the other apartment building, and the little one that's where I park my 2 vehicles in, all the tenants take up all the parking places, and there's no place for any visitors, not even one visitor parking, and that's where the visitors park. And I just hate to see you spend that type of money for dirt and grass and lawn and just not have it take and just be muddy all the time. It's just,
That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be just mud.
yeah.
So if you give us 2 more weeks, we're pretty much, we just want to talk to Jules and a couple other people.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Close the section this time, and you'll have a chance at the end of the meeting. Minutes of the previous meeting. You all have copies. Is there any additions or deletions?
I'll move that we accept the minutes as written.
I'll second that.
Moved by trustee Penfield, seconded by trustee Jefferson. Any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Bills. You all have copies of the bills, and I believe we have some additions.
We have one addition tonight. It's the Pitney Purchase Power. It's for our postage meter in the village office. It's in the amount of $1,057.77.
You have the total amount of bills, this 800-something thousand?
Not counting this one, the regular ones were $881,001.64. And then you add this $1,057.77, so you're $882,000 and change.
Well, I've never seen the bills that high ever since I've been here.
Well, what we're paying for, Brian,
Oh, I looked at
is we
it.
have all our, our contractor bills, and
Contract
the
bills.
work is progressing, quite rapidly, so.
Power bills.
Oh.
And we had our, everything fell at one
Oh,
time.
yeah. Oh, yeah, unbelievable. Okay, I'll make a motion to pay the bills tonight.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made by trustee Jefferson, seconded by trustee Penfield. Any discussion? There's no discussion. All those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Correspondence.
First letter we have tonight is from Montgomery Hose Hook and Ladder Company Number 1. It's addressed to the mayor and trustees. We wish to inform you of new members who have been approved to our company for a probationary period of 6 months. Richard Snide, 5 Hayford Road, Champlain, New York. Corey Fountain, 71 Chapman Street, Rouses Point, New York. John Mott, 97 Montgomery Street, Rouses Point, New York. Please act on these members as soon as possible. Respectfully yours, Sean Shagnon, Secretary of the Ladder Company. We'll need a motion to approve those for their 6-month probationary period.
I'll make a motion to accept the 3 members of the fire department.
Second.
Motion by trustee Jefferson, seconded by trustee Penfield. Any discussion?
Yeah, I want to welcome them. John Mott, too, glad to have them back.
Yes.
And I just want to say, again, once in a while, Bruce should maybe put it in the paper once in a while if we need people. I guess the fire department's pretty good, but we need more people for the rescue squad.
We just started, Bobby Marks just did all the research, we just started, it's called almost like a junior firefighter program, 16 and 17-year-olds. It's gonna be up to 5 members. We're only gonna allow 5 members at that age to come in. I think we got our 5 members already. We're gonna start training them into the different aspects, but they can't be into like any of the hot zones or anything like that. So our roster is down right now quite a bit, and we need to get new blood back in there again. And we figured this way, there's a couple other departments in the area. Shazy Morris has got this junior program going, and we figured it'd help us to get new members to join our fire department again.
How about like putting it in the North Countryman or even in the Press Republic? Hey, we're looking for members.
Yeah, we could. I'll mention that to Bruce and, well,
Any other discussion? All those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried.
The next letter we have is from Ruth Pierpont. She's Director of Historic Preservation of the New York State Office of Parks, Rec, and Historic Preservation. She sent this letter to several people, including me. Dear Mr. Baharno, I am pleased to inform you that the above referenced property, which is the D&H train station, has been listed on the National Register of Historic Places. As you may know, the National Register is the nation's official list of properties worthy of preservation. Listing on the National Register recognizes the importance of these properties to the history of our country and provides them with a measure of protection. In addition, owners of income-producing properties may qualify for federal income tax benefits. Properties owned by municipalities and non-for-profit organizations are eligible to apply for state historic preservation matching grants. So that is good news for everyone.
That's very good news.
And the next letter or notification we received, it was received certified mail from Angela's Pizza and Grill. First name is Costas, and I'm going to kill the last name. It looks like Papa Constantina, the owner of it. They have made application to the New York State Liquor Authority for a liquor license, and they are required to inform the clerk of the municipality by certified mail that they have filed that application, so they have done that.
It's the old Zachary place for if anybody's interested.
yep, they've been coming up and renting stuff from us. They're a bunch of nice guys.
When are they going to open?
They're hoping for around April 1st.
That's great.
And the last letter that we have is a letter from Jason Lehman. It was addressed to Chief Bob Craig, Rouses Point Police Department. Dear Chief Craig, it is with great pleasure and appreciation that I have had the opportunity to work as a member of the Rouses Point Police Department. However, I have decided to resign from my position with the department effective immediately. I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to work for the department, and would also like to thank all of the members of the department for allowing me to benefit from their knowledge and experience. The Rouses Point Police Department is truly a fine and professional organization. I have enjoyed my time spent at the department, and I am proud to have served as a member. Signed sincerely, Jason Lehman, and he was a part-time police officer, patrolman. So we need a motion to accept that.
I'll move to accept his resignation.
And I'll second that.
Moved by trustee Penfield, seconded by trustee Jefferson. Any discussion? No discussion, all those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Must be the discord.
And that's all I have, sir.
Thank you, Phil. Reports of mayors and trustees. First thing on my agenda tonight is to request an executive session to discuss office staff.
Second.
Okay, a roll call vote, trustee Penfield.
Aye.
Trustee Jefferson.
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye. And I have a resolution for the election. And Phil's going to read that, please.
This is our final resolution for our upcoming March 15th election. Whereas the next general election for officers of the Village of Rouses Point shall be held on March 15, 2005, and whereas the Board of Trustees is required by Section 15-104, subparagraph 3B of the election law to adopt a resolution designating the polling places, the hours the polls shall be open, and addresses of those nominated. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Rouses Point designates the polling place for each election district to be Halstead Hall, Rouses Point Civic Center, 39 Lake Street, Rouses Point, New York, 12979. That the hours during which the polls shall be open shall be 12 o'clock noon until 9 p.m., and that the candidates nominated for office in accordance with the provisions of Article 15 Village Law are Kelly A. Penfield, 120 Maple Street, Rouses Point, New York, 12979, nominated for the office of trustee for a 2-year term. Brian B. Jefferson, 33 Pratt Street, Rouses Point, New York, 12979, nominated for the office of trustee for a 2-year term. Dale A. Menard, 18 Priscilla Lane, Rouses Point, New York, 12979, nominated for the office of trustee for a 2-year term. Robert J. Clark, 50 Rose Avenue, Rouses Point, New York, 12979, nominated for the office of trustee for a 2-year term. John J. LaBounty, 58 State Street, Apartment 9, Rouses Point, New York, 12979, nominated for the office of justice for a 4-year term. William D. Herzog, 15 Smith Street, Rouses Point, New York, 12979, nominated for the office of justice for a 4-year term. Be it further resolved, the village clerk is hereby directed to publish this resolution in full in the Press Republican and to post a copy of this resolution in at least 6 conspicuous places within the village on or before March the 5th, 2005, and that a copy be placed at the polling place. And this requires a roll call vote as well. A motion and vote.
I'll make the motion to accept the candidates as listed by the clerk.
Second.
Motion by trustee Jefferson, seconded by trustee Penfield. Roll call vote. Trustee Penfield.
Aye.
Trustee Jefferson.
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye. And now I have a second resolution, Quality Community Initiative Demonstration Community. Wow, double community in there. And Phil, just touch on the highlights on this.
Basically what this resolution is, this is the $50,000 resolution that the board authorized Melissa McManus, who's our Director of Community Development, to apply for. This resolution is required, and the basic tenets of this thing, at the end, it's resolved that George Rivers, as mayor of the Village of Rouses Point, is hereby authorized and directed to file said application to the Office of Local Government and Community Services of the New York State Department of State for 2005 Quality Communities Demonstration Communities State Assistance Programs, and to act on behalf of the Village Board of Trustees in all matters related to this financial assistance, and to certify the information contained in this application. With the passage of this, it will allow the grant application, which Melissa has finalized. All it requires is your signature on this subsequent to tonight's action, and it'll be filed the end of this week. So we'll need a motion, second, and roll call vote.
I'll move to accept the resolution.
And I'll second that.
Moved by trustee Penfield, seconded by trustee Jefferson. Roll call vote, trustee Penfield.
Aye.
Trustee Jefferson.
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye. And the last thing on my agenda is a discussion. I think you'll have a copy of it.
Yeah.
This is up at the water storage tank, and this is strictly for discussion tonight. I don't think we need to take any action on this right now, so I think we need to fine tune it a little bit.
I don't know what this is, though.
You know that piece of concrete that's out in front
Out in front
of the water tank?
Yes, I think so.
That's that piece of concrete.
What are these things?
There's just a couple of trees that they were putting in.
Oh, those are trees.
To
Do you know
dress
those
it
are
up.
trees?
No.
That's
Those are pretty funny looking trees.
well, that's an engineering concept.
Did you know they were trees?
But, yeah, you just take a look at it, you can tell.
So how big is this?
Well, you know what that piece of concrete,
Yeah.
concrete,
Yeah.
that's the size of it.
So it would be the width, the size it is now, and the
And
blade
then
would go on.
A brass plaque put in the bottom there, and we got the second page with there needs some correction. I asked Dougie to come up with some sort of a thing, and I'd like to hold off onto it because he got quotes from Plattsburgh Memorial, right? And whatchamacallit, when Owen comes back from Texas, I wanna talk to him about it. It's nothing we have to do right now.
Right, no, I can't believe
But it was
those
a
are trees.
concept.
Is it, now would it be also possible to put the plaque on the tower itself, or no?
Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to see it.
Well,
It's
Yeah,
way,
that's true, but-
way up there. And
well, how close to the road is that piece of concrete?
pretty close.
Yeah, I thought that was just like a spare.
Sort of.
No, that was, what happened was, and let me probably explain it to you so you understand. When they were gonna pour the tank, the engineering firm required a test pour. So they poured one section of the tank itself, and then they tested the concrete for thickness, for hardness and all that. Instead of chopping it down, we left it and come up with this idea. That thing is down on the ground quite a ways. You're going to take quite a bulldozer to take that out of there.
I thought it was just an extra. I didn't
Yeah, I
realize,
thought maybe they
honestly.
just poured it for, I don't know.
That's why they pour, test what they call a test pour. They do that in a lot of buildings. You gotta understand that this concept of that concrete tank in this area is fairly new.
Yeah.
So anyway, good, it's for the, with future discussion. And that's it for me, trustee Penfield.
I was hoping to have an update tonight on the sewer project. I went over to the sewer plant this afternoon, and Aaron Jarvis was here, and Ken and Ernie and Tom were having a fairly lengthy discussion about some of the work that's going on inside the plant with she and the contractor. And so I didn't get very much of a chance to talk to either Aaron or Ken or Tom about an update, but it seems like things are going right along. I know that they've had an awful lot on their plate as of late, trying to get things tied in, and aside from that, Bill, are you aware of anything else? I
No,
think that
that-
things are going along, according to what Tom said, they've had an awful lot
I
to deal
talked
with.
with Tom today, and he said things are going extremely well.
Yeah.
Aaron Jarvis stopped in my office after the meeting, and he said things are very, very good. They're optimistic. They're hoping to do the tie-ins the first part March 4th, and the second piece to it the end of that week for the south end pump station. So they're pretty hopeful that they're going to be going right along. They figure Acts 2 should be done within the next probably couple weeks, and the only thing that they'll need to come back for is for the line that's out in the water and when the weather breaks.
Very good.
So everybody's very optimistic.
And I did have a chance to talk to Tom about some of the equipment that's out there that's no longer being used, that eventually we hope to be able to move out of there and hopefully get some money for. One of the things that he and I discussed was when they are finished with some of the tie-ins, because right now they are quite busy, he and Ernie and maybe myself will sit down and look at what's there and kind of go through the full list of what there is that they can get rid of. And then,
Actually, you know what, that was on my mind, trustee Penfield, is maybe we should pass a motion tonight, surplus that equipment, whatever they take out.
well, I think, why don't we
And
wait
then,
till they come up with a list?
Because the other thing I want to discuss too is the water tank, the old one. I think we did surplus that, didn't we?
No, we didn't. We talked about it.
Well, I think we should surplus it and talk to Dougie, and this is just my idea, and see if we can't get some bids to take it down. Because it's just sitting there, you know, and get that property back to whack, get it on tax rolls.
So do we need to surplus that first? I mean, I thought that we had accepted, we had not accepted, but we had received a quote, gosh, a couple of years ago for taking it
We
down.
had received a quote, and there was no action taken by
Right.
the board since I've been here. The last letter that we received from trustee Poyer in the village of Champlain, which was about 2 meetings ago, if my recollection is correct, he said that they are interested in our tank, and they have applied for, the village of Champlain has applied for grants, and they're waiting for the outcome of that, and that was kind of what I thought we were holding on for the immediate instant, to see if the village
We
might
haven't
be
heard
interested.
another word from them at all.
That was only, what,
2 months
Three-
ago.
Meeting- no,
2 or 3
meetings.
months ago.
no.
2 meetings
It was
ago.
within the last month,
2
yeah.
meetings.
yeah. So,
Things are kind of unrestful up there right now in Champlain, so
Well,
we get by the election, maybe we probably won't be able to do anything.
That might be a good idea.
well, we can wait till, you know, April. But I think come this spring, if there's nothing, I think we should seriously look at it, taking it down. Price of scrap steel is way up there, so we might get a good price.
Yeah, you know what that'll be? They'll come in, tear it down, we'll give them the tank, and it'll be a wash.
So it's a wash, it
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
cost us anything.
Oh, yeah, it's
might not
better.
be the worst thing in the world.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we're not using it, like you said, get it back on
Because
the
the
back.
the one quote we had a couple of years ago was reasonable, but it's not, you know, we could get away
There was
without it.
3 of them. One was for $40,000. They were going to take it down and reconstruct it. The other 1 or 2 that Mr. Carr said that we received bids, quotes on, was a little over $100,000 to take it down. So that, you know, that's where the issue is. One of the things that we're still kind of waiting on in that old thing, Mr. Mayor, is we're waiting for that valve. We have everything, but we're waiting till decent weather to
I
actually.
understand that, but, you know, I'm just putting some groundwork in here.
Right. I think, you know, the cost is going to be the key to everything. If it's going to cost us anything, we kind of thought at the time we would wait, but we'll have to see.
And the other thing is, we might want to get after the water department to get that little building cleaned out that's underneath it and get it torn down. So,
Well, with the good weather approaching, we'll
Yeah.
have a good opportunity to do that, so. Okay, what else do I have? On the subdivision regulations that we talked about at the last meeting, I know we had decided that we would all read them over and take another look at them. I believe that Tom Renane is doing the same. I talked to Mike Tatro last week. He's on vacation this week, which is why he's not at the meeting tonight, so I would say that we just table it again until the next meeting, and hopefully Junior will be back, and there'll be 4 of us, and we can just discuss whatever we think. And Mike mentioned that at that point, he should have some comments back from Tom Renane as well, so we can put it all together then and schedule a public hearing if we're ready to go with it. So I think we'll wait.
I briefly discussed this with Mike on the semantics of how it would work.
Yes.
Once the board decides, you know, that the subdivision laws are written the way they want them, then you'll authorize me to ask our village attorney to draft a local law.
Correct.
Even though and then we'd go on from, once we get that in our actual hands, then we'll request the public hearing.
Okay. But that shouldn't take him very long.
I wouldn't, no, it should be.
It's pretty much written.
Basically, it's just
the way it needs to be.
attaching this to
Right.
the paperwork.
Right.
So we should be ready to go on that, I'm guessing by early April for a public hearing at the latest. Because if this
Okay.
goes to the next
Right,
meeting
right.
and then authorize, I'm hoping that he'll have it by then, early, mid-April.
Well, but we may make changes though at the next meeting,
That
so.
very will be, that's why I'm saying
Yeah.
there's no real rush.
So, yeah, okay. The third item I have tonight is a resolution authorizing our application and agreement for project financing through the New York Clean Water State Revolving Fund. Basically, it's a resolution authorizing the execution and filing of an application and execution and delivery of an agreement setting forth the terms of the project financing and other documents necessary for the Clean Water State Revolving Fund assistance. And basically what we need to do is we need to authorize the mayor to execute the required documents on behalf of the village to finish the application and deliver it as need be. And I believe that the deadline that we need to meet is March 1st. So I'd like to make a motion that we authorize the mayor to go ahead and execute those required documents on behalf of the village.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made by trustee Penfield, seconded by trustee Jefferson. Roll call vote. Trustee Penfield.
Aye.
Excuse me, we got an injury right here, a neck injury.
Did I get you? Trustee
You got
Penfield?
it.
Aye, sorry.
And the mayor votes aye. Masetti.
And Phil, you're going to check with our send to make sure we're on target for what we need for March 1st when he calls.
Mr. Jarvis, Aaron Jarvis from Tisdale, who is filing this on behalf of the village as the design engineer, asked me today how our part of that application, the information the village needed to provide. Mr. Letourneau, our treasurer, was getting that information, gathering that information. Hopefully he'll be back in time to have that ready to give to Mr. Jarvis, because we do have a 3-1 filing in order to be considered for the summer financing.
Is that it?
We have to make
Yeah,
that
well, we
deadline.
have to.
Oh, God, yes.
So, did you get an idea from Aaron, the bulk of material? I mean, it is doable by the 1st, assuming that our send is back.
The paperwork that I saw when we had our meeting a few weeks ago were upwards of 15, 18 pages of information that was needed from the village.
You must know something about that, Phil.
I refuse to comment on the grounds of my incrimination.
Absolutely.
And I just have one other item. The mayor and I met, Brian, with the Historical Society on Saturday to discuss a number of different ideas, and we talked about some of their plans of what they have planned for performances and the like for the year, and we also talked about the D&H station. I think it was a very productive meeting. I think that they're still very interested in preserving the history of the village, and you know, I think that the letter that Phil read regarding the D&H being recognized now on the historical register will be a really good first step. I know they were all very excited about that, so I think it was a very productive meeting. And hopefully now we can apply for our historical marker for the D&H, and we can let people know that we're going to be applying for grants, and that things within some time, I mean, obviously it's not going to happen overnight, but things hopefully will be happening up there once we get the report back from Mr. Stearns that Missy was talking about at the last meeting. So I think it was a really productive meeting.
I was very, very pleased with the meeting.
Yeah.
I think we got on the historical committee and the village is on the same page.
Yeah.
Come April, we're appointing 2 people from the village. One will be a trustee, and the other one will be the village historian, as committee of 2 from the village to work with the Historical Society.
Yeah, they're really a great group of volunteers. They're interested a lot, and they just, I think, really want people to know what is happening in the village and what's out there that we can do. So I think it worked out very well.
Yeah, they got a lot of good things going.
They do. They have a lot of really good things going on, and I really hope that people support them. So they really do have a number of good activities planned. People will be glad to see. So, and that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you, trustee Penfield. Trustee Jefferson.
Okay, I don't really have anything on my agenda tonight.
Good one.
Just one comment. You always have to have a comment. There's a number of local businesses in the village are struggling right now. Now, this is probably the worst time of year because taxes, fuel costs are at the highest part of the year, and everybody's got their Christmas bills in. So people aren't spending the way local businesses would like them to. So I'm really pro-business. I hope people will spend as much money in the village as they can. When we spend money in Plattsburgh, we don't get any return on the money. When we spend money in the village, it keeps the kids working, it keeps people in our family working, and it keeps the tax base sound. So it's very, very important that people spend money in the village. That's all I have to report tonight.
Thank you, sir. On that, the new drugstore is scheduled to open the 7th of March.
Yes.
That's great.
I was talking with Mr. Mosley today. They are stocking their shelves now,
Great.
and it is nice in there. And Wyatt credit union will be moving in. They have a space, a separate room all set up.
Will they have an ATM?
Yes, they're gonna be putting in an
Well,
ATM.
that's a good plus. Now, what about the Chinese restaurant? We were talking about that today. Nothing.
It's all covered up. You see all the windows are covered up. That's the best I can tell you. That's all I know.
Yeah. And the dentist office?
Dentist office is slow, but it's coming. It's starting to look pretty. It's
Beautiful
gonna be-
building.
It's gonna be a nice looking building.
Yeah.
It's looking better in the village for business.
Spring's coming.
I open the meeting up to the public at this time. Don't all scream at once. Close the meeting at the public. We're in for recess. Motion.
Motion, Bill.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bill.
I have something tonight.
Yeah.
I just wanted to remind folks that Village Voter Registration Day is going to be held March the 5th from noon to 5 in the village office. The election inspectors will be there. Anyone who hasn't registered to vote, who is 18 years old and a village resident for 30 days may register on that day. They don't have to wait till that day. They can file directly by filling out forms that we have available in the office and mailing them directly to the Board of Elections, but just reminding people of that, and that's going to be before our next meeting, so I just wanted to do that. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Bill. And Joe and I will be gone Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday next week. We'll be at the mayor's conference, talking with our state legislators, putting an arm on them for money. Motion for recess.
You have it.
Second.
Motion by trustee Jefferson.